College football on CBS Sports Network, presented by the Home Depot. Wyoming and Tulsa conference compatriots when they last met in 1998. Welcome to Tulsa, where the defense has been the story early. Travis Gibson gets the first big play for Tulsa. Golden Hurricane has had a possession, pierced into Wyoming territory, back-to-back sacks, forced a punt that got caught in the wind. Wyoming on its first drive, led by Sean Chambers. I'm John Sadak alongside the Hall of Famer Randy Cross. We thank you for joining us here, and Wyoming's had two generous spots in this drive.
They have, but they're mixing run and pass, which they haven't done during the year much.
There's Trey Smith, the Louisville transfer. Gets knocked down by Brandon Johnson. Allie Green, the fourth. Starting lineups brought to you by Chick-fil-A. That is music to our ears. And the quarterback is Sean Chambers. Entered 39% completion. Was 4 of 12 last week. He's already 3 for 3 on the first drive.
Yeah, he's got a little confidence, a little bounce in his step so far. It's only a matter of time when they let him try one deep, try for a deep strike.
4 wide, blitz shown. Here comes the pressure. Chambers on third down, Kentucky run. He's got a ton of space. Chambers on third down and 9. Scampers 33 for a touchdown.
And more importantly, for Wyoming, no flags. That was an excellent read by Sean Chambers. Good protection by his offensive line. And when you blitz like that, they're bringing 6. That means you're going to be in man back there. You turn your back, you're running with your receiver. You don't see that young quarterback running, and he makes them pay. We told you how well he runs.
Shades of the one-play touchdown trot for Oklahoma State against Tulsa last week. For those of you watching on CBSSports.com, our streaming coverage concludes after the commercial break. We'll continue on CBS Sports Network, CBSSportsNetwork.com/channel finder. Welcome on inside the booth. John Sadak, the Hall of Famer, Randy Cross. What stood out to you so far?
Well, it's kind of like form so far. You've seen Tulsa make some mistakes, drove the ball a little bit, but then backed themselves up. And Wyoming came out and took advantage of a couple of nice passes by Sean Chambers, and then a couple of long runs, the big one at the end for the 6 points. It's best case scenario right now for Wyoming.
A matchup to watch, brought to you by Home Depot. Do projects smarter. The run game of Shamari Brooks of Tulsa.
Shamari Brooks is one of those guys, when he gets in line, he could go anywhere. He has the ability just to bolt sideways, and he'll make you pay. See, he gets in the hole. Does he go forward? No, he almost goes dead 90 degrees to the right.
And Logan Wilson, the outstanding tackler for Wyoming, has already made his presence felt. A great sideline-to-sideline man with lateral movement. Now Sean Chambers, perfect 33-yard run, 3 for 3 on the 4-play drive. He factors in every play as the Cowboys take advantage and get a score. And another touchback as Tulsa's offense will trot back out. Once again, time for Chick-fil-A starting lineups. Moody, you too. Try to be polite to the cow as always. Zach Smith at quarterback for Tulsa. Young man who once outdueled Baker Mayfield when he was at Baylor and Mayfield at Oklahoma.
Yeah, and he's a guy, he told us, I'd like to throw 70 times a game. And that's with 100 snaps. So he's willing to give up 30 for the run, which is, gee, it's so nice of him.
He's a quarterback. He likes the pass. Run by Shamari Brooks, ripped down. Garrett Krall, one of 3 former walk-ons, heavily in the rotation up front for Wyoming. The Tulsa offense led on the left side. Chris Ivey Jr., the most veteran, a redshirt senior.
Yeah, he's the guy they're leaning on for leadership because everybody else is young. You go to the right from him, it's sophomores mainly.
Smith, pocket holding. Tight window, and the grab for Sam Crawford. Sandwiched by 3 Cowboys as the ball arrived. And take a look at the defense for the Wyoming Cowboys. Cash Malawia, a senior linebacker, was a quarterback in his high school days. Another run right up the gut for Shamari Brooks. Runs into Chad Muma. Pummels him to the 40. That'll be a gain of about 5. Well, Tulsa on its first drive, Randy, gained about 40 yards and then lost 20 on back-to-back plays.
Well, that's exactly what Zach Smith and Philip Montgomery, as head coach and offensive coordinator on the sideline, wants to see on first down, though. 5 yards, you can do whatever you want.
Pocket holds again. Now the pressure arrives and trying to fight another tight window to Keenan Johnson. Coverage seems pretty strong from a Wyoming secondary that's a little thin.
And that will not dissuade Zach Smith from throwing the ball. Watching the end zone tape on this kid, he throws it into some windows that most of the time they're not even there, much less a window.
It's 3 of 5 today. You asked him, what matchup do you like in this game? And he said, I love our wide receivers against their secondary. 3rd and 5. Loaded front shown by Wyoming. They peel back and only send 2. It's Smith. Finds an open target right over the heart of the field. Brought in by Josh Johnson, the Iowa State transfer, for a first down.
Yeah, beautiful protection down the field. And Zach Smith's able to find a wide open guy in the middle.
Off the play fake, checking down. Now resets, looking for Keelan Stokes. Tight to the sideline, incomplete. Rome Weber, Tyler Hall each there. He will try to put it in some really small spaces. Heck, he used to try to find the strike zone, a 2-time All-State pitcher in his Grandview High School days.
That was a smart throw on the last one, though. He put it where only his guy could get it, even though it was out of bounds.
Now right near Route 66, the snap from number 66, Gerard Wheeler. 66 yards thus far for Zach Smith. On the ground. Wyoming. Outstanding form, physical tackling team as Corey Taylor disrupted by Jamari Jackson and Tyler Hall. Now, Wyoming down some bodies on defense, Randy. We asked Craig Bohl, how did you handle practice being a little light? And he said, well, we're a physical team, so we try to balance it, but we have to practice physically. Hard cadence doesn't draw it.
That's a catch-22, though, with that practice pace. You got to be really careful and pick your spots. 9-on-7, 1-on-1s.
Stacked receivers in the left slot. Pressure comes. Smith feels it, and he's down. The 3rd sack of the day for Wyoming. All the way back to midfield, piercing pressure.
And that one gives Wyoming 14 on the year. It's not who you see and think is coming. It's who you don't see and comes. So often today in defensive football, what they show you has got nothing to do with what you're going to get. And that's a great example. 2 guys came blitzing out of the defensive backfield.
And that's with the new defensive coordinator. Jake Dickert got promoted after Scotty Hazelton left to become the Kansas State defensive coordinator. Austin Conway, outstanding punt returner. Bennett's first punt died in the wind. This one has a lot more leg. And Tulsa downs it at about the 15. So Bennett rebounds. Wyoming gets its second possession after a 35-yard punt. The Montgomery family, coach and player. Philip Montgomery, the head coach. Canna Montgomery, the redshirt sophomore wide receiver and returner. His sister Macy, by the way, a freshman on the Spirit squad. One of 6 in the FBS matchups of fathers and some of her sons in college football today. Here's Canna Montgomery on the sidelines. While Wyoming's offense is on the field, got its first quarter points of the year. Only had 162 yards, 9 first downs, no points. In 3 first quarters, going 3-0. For Tulsa, it's now 4 straight games the opponent has scored on the opening drive, 3 of them touchdowns. Chambers overshoots Austin Conway. Chambers began the game 3 for 3 for 28 yards. Here's the rest of his starting offense, including Eric Aboje in left guard.
Yeah, I like Aboje. He's got that little nasty streak to him. We'll show him a little bit today because he loves to finish blocks.
When he signed, he was 325 pounds. Before this past spring, he was 360 pounds. Craig Bohl said he was eating a few too many Pop-Tarts. He's now listed a little north of 350. Out of the Wyoming called timeout. Swarm tackling from the Tulsa defense, championed by Cullen Wick. But their standout is Cooper Edmiston, leads them in tackles for a second straight year.
And he is their leader. He attracts the ball. You talked about in the past him being a turnover magnet. The ball finds this guy. There's just something about him, whether it's a pass or a fumble. And right next to him, Zaven Collins, physically is as talented a young man you're going to see in linebacker at the FBS level.
Change in running back for the Cowboys. Titus Swen, his first reps. He's in. Third down. High snap for Chambers. Chambers lets it launch. One-on-one. Hard contact. Incomplete. Looking for Austin Conway. Battling hard with Reggie Robinson the second.
Well, you talked about the hard contact. We'll get a good look at it here. If it's both ways, I have no problem with it. Now, the one hand, if it doesn't turn into a grab, I got no problem with that either. So that was just good, strong defense on a ball that was just slightly overthrown.
And Reggie Robinson, a young man who has the massive respect and friendship of his quarterback in Zach Smith. They were middle school teammates. Robinson once ran over Smith, who was playing safety in an in-team scrimmage. Ryan Galovich's boot. Stokes lets it bound, takes a series of Wyoming rolls, and this will aid the Cowboys. Things getting a little physical out there, and the whistles blare. It's getting heated. Eberhardt, who had the near catch part of the tussle. Taylor gets nothing. Only a yard. Logan Wilson part of the pile to drive him back. They put an extra big body back there, Randy, to try to avoid just that.
Yeah, I mean, when you're trying to block up front and you got to get to that second level, you know, that's the hard part. The first level is the line. The second level is the linebackers. And there's nobody getting off on those linebackers right now. That's been a problem for this line for the last few weeks, and that's what's held them back from really running the ball well.
Running game was obliterated against Michigan State in the opener. It's 3 tackles for Wilson. Once again on the ground. Pinball off the first contact. Corey Taylor, second effort. It'll be about 1.5 yards to nearly 2 yards shy, depending upon the spot. Davon Wells-Ross getting extra time up front, part of the tackle there. So 3rd and 2. They're going to add 2 tight ends, it looks like here, both Denzel Carter and James Palmer. What are you looking for?
Well, it's going to be a run, I would imagine.
Needing 2 yards. Right through the arm grab of Wilson.
Did get it.
Wow. Exactly at the marker with the spot.
Well, they brought the 2 tight ends on the right side, and they ran an option style play right up the middle.
That's the end of the first quarter.
It looked like Jack Smith wanted to hold on to that ball. Philip Montgomery and company through 1 quarter, still seeking their first points. Wyoming, a 7-0 advantage on the road, down to star. As running back Trey Smith has gone off. It's college football presented by the Home Depot. Wyoming, a 7-0 lead on Tulsa. Second quarter getting underway. Trey Smith starting running back for Wyoming. This is the scene just a few minutes ago. Helmet off, shoe off, no weight on that left foot. Needed great help to get back into the locker room. We've yet to see Xavier Valladay in the running back rotation for Craig Bohl. He's been nursing an ankle injury. Out of the pistol. Tulsa's shown different formations here. And a pin ball by Shamari Brooks, but the second wave chips him down. That's a hard yard to earn. Garrett Krall popped him.
Yeah, and that's the problem against this Wyoming defense. You're going right into the chops of the defense. If you're not getting to the second level and getting those linebackers, you're asking for real trouble with Wilson and company just running sideline to sideline.
Big gash. Shamari Brooks. First down, Tulsa. Elijah Halliburton trips him up after a 20-yard rip.
Yep, only 1 linebacker in the middle. They're going to block him. If you can't block the second level on a consistent basis.
And after a horrible snap, another gash in the exact same spot. Shamari Brooks gallops for 17, tripped up by Rome Weber.
That's 2 plays in a row. No Logan Wilson inside.
Right. And that's also where tempo can hurt you, right? Another terrible snap, and this time Brooks is dead to rights. You know, snaps have been an issue for Tulsa, Randy. Dylan Couch was the primary center, and they had 2 bad snaps against Michigan State. One became a lost fumble, one a safety, so they switched in-game to Gerard Wheeler, who has been the center since.
Well, shotgun snaps can be absolutely perfect 70 times a game, but the 3 you don't snap well, the ones they remember.
An extra big body, Denzel Carter on the wing left as a tight end. And looking for the physicality, Elijah Halliburton, the strong safety, able to get low and take out Corey Taylor II. So 3rd down comes here. What do you do?
Well, I'm going to give credit where credit is due, because Tulsa's getting to that 2nd level. They're getting into Logan Wilson some. Malalua, they're getting into him too. He's been blocked a couple of strong times. Here, both of them now in the middle of the defense, bluffing the A gap.
A crowded front. Zach Smith has full authority. He can change anything he wants at the line of scrimmage. Pressure comes backside. Smith hammered. Incomplete. Just now the signal. Chad Muma.
That was a nice little blitz from the inside. They were showing the linebacker on the other side, and Mua comes on the far side.
So the 3rd generation Cowboy, his father and his grandfather played for Wyoming. Gets that big sack. Jacob Rainey, 36-yard field goal try. It's 2 for 2. This would be his long, previous long of 28 against San Jose State. The kick with some big tail. It's no good. Wide right.
Well, there's a small circle of trust when a coach lets you try it and you don't get it. That circle of trust gets to be like a washer.
Philip Montgomery painting as Tulsa shot down the field and shoots it wide. Swen seemed to lose his footing some as he stuck his foot in the ground and then runs into a sea of Tulsa defenders, but already has the first. Zayden Collins and Manny Bunch there.
Got enough for a 1st down. They're doing most of their business running wise on their right side. We talked about how that left side was the strength of the offensive line. The right side doing some good work for Wyoming.
That includes Alonzo Velasquez at right tackle. He's had some unique injury history. On the ground again. Shamar Robinson latched onto him. And Velasquez and company helping to protect for Sean Chambers.
Sean Chambers got to play last year in 3 games, broke his leg, got a redshirt year. He ran well last year. He's running well this year. But one thing he's really doing, early on he was throwing the ball well, but man, it's his feet that have tortured Tulsa so far.
Began the game 3 for 3, 0 for 4 since. He is 6-0 as Wyoming's starting quarterback. On 2nd down, play fake. Pocket holds and he fires. Caught. Leaping grab from Austin Conway. Went up in the air with Brandon Johnson.
Now the great thing about that pass, John, Chambers did not overthrow it. He just sort of stepped into it, trusted it, put it right on his receiver. You know, pretty often you watch this young kid throw, it looks like he's trying to throw it through the receiver. You know, he's got the arm to really be crazy about maybe trying to do that. But just trust it and slow it down.
Craig Bohl said he needed to slow a lot down. Titus Swen, the redshirt freshman, has been getting all the carries since Trey Smith departed with injury. Bohl said he told Sean Chambers this week, I need to talk to you. And he called him in to say, you got to stop putting all of this on you. You got the weight of the world on you. And now he's got even more weight on him with Trey Smith putting no weight on his left foot since he went off with his injury. Chambers, only a redshirt freshman, was plastered on the poster as the face of Wyoming. Not all that far removed from Allen's presence, and there, great hit on the quick slant. Gunnar Gentry only had one catch on the year entering the game, 15 yards.
Well, you look at the background of the staff too. You know, they came from North Dakota State, so they've had the Carson Wentz's and guys like that. Automatically, you start thinking about that when you see this quarterback. He's a good physical specimen, but like you said, Coach Bowles talking about just get out of your own way, just relax, just play.
Here he's going to follow Swen. One of his great strengths is running. Gets a couple there. And there was talk about the passing tree and how complicated, how NFL-like it can be. Craig Bowles said that's why guys like Carson Wentz and Josh Allen have graduated from our programs and had success in the NFL. They're ready for that depth, that cerebral challenge. And he said, I have to caution myself and remember, this is a redshirt freshman. And I need to put him in an advantageous situation. He can grow into that, but not immediately.
It's still only his 7th game.
Right. And here's Swen again. Oh, my goodness. The vicious harm arrives there. Trevis Gibson and Shamar Robinson, big part of it. 268 and 312. So 3rd down arrives. Wyoming trying to make it a 2-score game. 3rd and 7. What do you like?
Yeah, we haven't seen much to the tight ends. And I think that's something that would really help Chambers out, is to use his tight ends a heck of a lot more. And he's got a guy like Harshman, 33, that can do some work.
One grab on the year, but had high praise from his coaches. Sending this one to the end zone. Incomplete. Looking for Rocket Ishmael Jr. And the coverage was there from the nickelback, Christian Williams.
Williams, really nice position by Williams right in front of Ishmael. Now, if the ball is thrown at the cone, at the pylon in the corner, it's going to be a heck of a lot different. But the ball is thrown short.
38-yard try for Cooper Roth, who missed twice last week thanks to winds. Into the wind. Blocked! Reggie Robinson, the second, shoots in and denies. Held off by Allie Green, the fourth.
That wasn't blocked, John. That was smothered. You're coming off the corner. You got your eye on that ball. It's not often you see a ball gets almost taken off the foot of the kicker, but Robinson gets in there for the block perfectly.
Tulsa shows empty, sacked 4 times. A lot of that in the early stage of the game.
Showing a one-man rush. They're going to drop 7 at least here.
Zach Smith hammered as he throws, incomplete. He took quite a lick from Jarvie Jackson at 6'5", 276.
And why not? If you can cover with 7 and get pressure with 4, that's best case scenario there. That gives you pretty good options on the backside.
And Jake Dykert, the first-year defensive coordinator, has done a nice job changing things up on this Tulsa team. Smith hit again, and once again it's Javari Jackson. Another incompletion.
Yeah, that clock in your head, it's got to be 1,001, 1,002. I better get rid of it because you're going to get the rush. You're not going to be there. You won't get to 3 90% of the time. At least not in this game.
And now the pressure creeping up with the back returning in Shamari Brooks. Smith changing things up.
You've got 7 in the box, at least threatening blitz, double A gap.
Smith. Stokes in stride, hurdles his defender. Keelan Stokes, touchdown.
Look at the blitz. 7 up here. Nobody here if you miss a tackle. What happens? Stokes comes off the left side. 1 tackle missed. See you later. Bye. Great protection, good blocking, excellent execution.
56-yard touchdown grab. The extra point ties it up. Keelan Stokes now 5 yards shy of 1,000 in his Tulsa career.
You can see it all the way coming. Stokes is wide open. He makes one tackler miss, and then it's just a race to the far pylon for 6. Only had 4 or 5 for coverage, 1 in the middle, and that one in the middle misses tackle.
Well, there another touchback. Brett Brenton play fake. Chambers uncorks it. That might have been tipped. He was looking for Dante Crow. A second down and 10 arrives. This Tulsa team wants to turn you over. It's something they press dramatically. In fact, their defensive coordinator Joseph Gillespie underscores not turnovers. He says offenses turn it over, defenses take it away.
Take it away, yeah. Yeah, and Edmondson, 42, would be the guy you'd think would be near the ball.
Had 7 takeaways a year ago. Toss play. And what do you know? Right on the spot is Cooper Edmiston, able to deliver the blow to Brett Brenton. We've not seen Titus Swen since he got hammered in Wyoming's last possession.
Yeah, if you can get Wyoming going sideways, which right now Tulsa's got them going sideways, trying to run the ball.
Third down. Chambers off the pump. Edmiston is there. Chambers falls short. Chambers has to do it by himself, Randy.
Yeah, he's not getting the protection, and they're not run blocking particularly well. That's a deadly combination. Give some credit down the field, because Tulsa is doing a very nice job of manning up and covering up on the backside. Chambers got nowhere to go with the ball.
There's Keelan Stokes. Strong return man who works kicks and punts. And also has the touchdown grab today. Fair catch. A Tulsa offense back out there. Zach Smith has seen pressure most of the game. It's the quick hitter, Shamari Brooks, who's got a blocker. That was Dante Bivens showing off the wheels up the sideline.
We're right at about 2:15 here left. Plenty of time, no reason to hurry. They love to go quickly. And that's a great play call to slow down that blitz and slow down that rush.
That was 18 yards. Now Smith locked left side, fires and finds Keenan Johnson. He gets pushed back just shy of the marker, so the clock runs. No first down here. ZZ Hearn, Keon Blankenbaker, part of the pair.
This is the pace that Tulsa would like to operate at. Play every 12 to 15 seconds.
Bit of a high snap. Oh, what a sidestep, but Logan Wilson locks eyes and drags down Brooks. See that giant American flag flowing. That's as the offense goes right to left.
No blitz shown.
And they run with Taylor, who gets the first down. So stop the clock as they move the chains. That's a bit of a gamble, though, Randy, right?
No, I think it's a smart move. I really do. I think you've got, they were showing no blitz, but they actually did try to blitz. Gives you a better shot.
So they only lose about 7-8 seconds here. Now Smith changing things up. Remember, that clock started rolling as they set the ball. Smith pressured. Hit as he throws. Catch. Sam Crawford, touchdown. 37 yards. Tulsa's first lead of the day.
Well, I'll tell you what, Zach Smith just showed some serious guts. He knew a hit was coming. We've seen it do it 2 or 3 times. Watch this pass rush coming in. He's holding it. He's holding it. They take out his legs, but he still stands in there and delivers that ball right on the chest.
Zach Smith entered with 3 touchdown passes on the year. He's got 2, each for big chunk plays. And the point after true. He took the hit from Solomon Byrd and delivered. And so remember, Wyoming won the toss. Cowboys will have the ball to begin the second. Tulsa has the lead at halftime. After the break, it's to Brent and the gang in New York. The halftime report, powered by Ram Trucks. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Back in Tulsa, Wyoming undefeated but trailing the Golden Hurricane. Back-to-back passing touchdowns on top, 14-7. John Sadak, the Hall of Famer, in Randy Cross. My friend, what stood out in a wild roller coaster of a first?
Kind of wild, crazy plays. We had the great big touchdown play by Chambers to lead this whole thing off. Wide open, man coverage down the field. Everybody with their back turns. He runs it in. Looks like Wyoming's going to run like crazy. Well, that's about when the running back started going down.
Trey Smith could put no weight on his left foot. Rocket Ishmael twisted his foot in pursuit of that ball, and then Zach Smith took off.
The blitzes kept coming from Wyoming. They did get a lot of pressure. They did get a lot of sacks. But they also gave up a couple of big touchdown plays on sacks. I'll be interested to see how they handle this second half and how much they keep coming after Smith.
First half stats sponsored by Sleep Number. 4 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, but a giant disparity in total yards. And for Wyoming, Randy, if you take away the running game of the quarterback, Sean Chambers, 10 carries, 20 yards for the rest of the backfield, and they're down to 1 physically able to perform player at this point. Might we see players in other positions get chances in the backfield? So Valladay didn't play in the first half?
Well, we talked to the coaches the other day. They said they thought he was about 80-90%. And he couldn't have gotten that much better, that faster, that much quicker. So he's out there at less than 100%.
Hurt his right ankle. Did not play last week against Idaho. Gets his first touch today, trying to stretch it out, and Tulsa up to the task. There's another stop for Christian Williams. If Craig Bowles said that for Valladay at 6 foot 196, and that might be a little generous, he needs that burst. He doesn't have the size, that bruising nature. If he doesn't have that real quick first step, he wondered how effective he could be.
Yeah, that separation. And when you're less than 100%, that's the very first thing you're lacking.
A couple of big bodies off the fake. Chambers on the run. Tried to force that one some to Austin Conway. Flag out late. Brandon Johnson there in coverage.
It's going to be a pass interference on offense. Push off.
Austin Conway was looking for that football near the sideline. Young man who came to Wyoming on a basketball scholarship. And Conway was a high school quarterback out of Aurora, Colorado. The team's leading pass catcher today. And it goes to the off receiver, John Okwaldi, who was not near the ball. And Craig Bowl, what do you imagine he was saying to his team at halftime, and what is he looking for in the second half?
Much better discipline and execution. If we call a blitz, get home.
3rd and 12. Chambers. Incomplete. As the ball arrived, so did Brandon Johnson. And he ruptures it free from Aiden Eberhardt. 4th and 12.
Yeah, that should have been a catch by Eberhardt, because you saw Chambers take a couple of hop steps, but he's going to deliver this thing right into the gut. Not bad defense, but that ball was there and should have been caught.
Eberhardt, the former walk-on who got a scholarship in the spring of 2018. And that drop right near the stick. So here's the 6th punt for Galovich. Just gets it off. And outstanding field position for Tulsa that has turned things around in its recent possessions after a 31-yard punt.
Now the challenge is, can Tulsa get in that rhythm?
Shamari Brooks stood up And drop down Cash Malawia. Young man you highlighted in the lineups, loss of a yard. That's 8 tackles per loss for Wyoming's defense.
Yeah, Malawia coming from that inside linebacker position. He and Wilson. Now you see Wilson on the outside. Look at him up there. There's an inside linebacker being asked out there to be responsible, at least it would appear, for one of those slots stacked.
The blitz on. Smith hammered again as he throws. Overshot Josh Johnson. Coverage. Garrett Krall in the backfield there to apply the contact on Smith.
Well, Zach Smith is lucky he's wearing shoulder pads and rib pads, because he's gotten them tested on a pretty regular basis. They put some smacks on him.
And Krall leads all the D linemen for Wyoming in tackles. One of 3 former walk-ons playing up front. A wide split. They go hard to the edge. Smith finds Josh Johnson. That'll be good for a first down. Keon Blankenbaker gets the stop. 13 for number 13.
They only rushed 4. They dropped 7. Great job by Smith finding his receiver right there in the hole.
Brooks. Oh, Wyoming read that. Pressure arrives as the ball does, and Elijah Halliburton with double-digit tackles already.
Yeah, Halliburton coming from the bottom of the screen, number 3. He's in the backfield reading that option. He looked like he read it better than Smith did, and he was the quarterback.
He's got 12 tackles himself, 5 off his career high. Zach Smith on 2nd and 13. There have been a lot of no gain or negative plays for Tulsa today.
Well, they've made it up with chunks.
That's right. Touchdowns of 56 and 37. Smith. What a job defending as the punch arrived with the football. Keon Blankenbaker knocked it free from Keelan Stokes.
Yeah, Stokes trying to bring that in, and Blankenbaker gets those arms around. Look at Stokes land right there on that left shoulder, left upper arm. He was slow coming off the field holding that left shoulder.
And remember, he was clutching at the same area when he extended on a punt return earlier in the game and was briefly seeing the athletic trainers. And Wyoming's been ravaged by injury in this game. Tulsa has had its own concern on the year.
Showing some blitz. Showing 7 rushers. Do they bring all of them? Nope, 6.
Smith hammered as he throws. Just overshot Josh Johnson. Halliburton in the backfield, and that slightly disrupted the timing. The difference between 4th down and touchdown.
Not sure if Johnson knew where the ball was on this. Halliburton's going to come from the top of the screen. He's going to be the blitzer that actually comes. He disrupts the timing. The ball right over the top of the head.
Golden Hurricane entered the day 2 of 4 on 4th down. Converted already once today. Smith hit. Complete. Hop out of bounds. Keenan Johnson. First down, Tulsa.
There you go. You come out. You're in empty backfield. You've got 2 receivers to the top of the screen. You've got 3 receivers to the bottom. You run 2 of those receivers off. There is nobody on the bottom of the screen allowing for Johnson. Johnson's wide open and gets that first down. Wholesale challenges here as far as subs.
18 yards on 4th down and 13. Here's the 11th play of the drive for Tulsa, directed by number 11, Zach Smith. Off the fake. What a sell. Bobbled incomplete. That was a great job to sell him the play fake, but Josh Johnson couldn't hold on. The pressure again from Halliburton.
How often do you see that? We've seen it 3 or 4 times today for both teams, where the ball gets into the body of the receiver. They call them a catch. They call them catches for a reason. You're supposed to catch them with your hands, not with your stomach.
Although my stomach could probably grab most things.
Oh, it would at least stop.
Does at the buffet table at least. 2nd and 15. Smith harassed. Throws it away. Wise move as he had Garrett Krall right in his face.
Well, here's a common theme we've seen today. Is Zach Smith hanging in there till the last second, willing to take a hit.
He has displayed a lot of toughness, and it seems that since Tulsa has incorporated more and more empty looks.
Here comes the blitz. Got nobody back there. It's an empty backfield. You have the numbers if you're going to bring those extra players. Five linemen, 5 rushers.
Caught. Juan Carlos Santana. He gets to the 12, gain of 5. What do you do?
Well, they're going to be optimistic, taking on the optimistic side, and they're going to try a short field goal. This is a lot shorter than the last one.
This will be a 30-yard try. Rainey has missed from 36.
Remember, he pushed the first one, left it out to the right.
Has not hit from longer than 28. The redshirt freshman walk-on in his young career. Officially from 29. And it's good. The last 3 scores belong to Tulsa, and the Golden Hurricane has a 2-score lead. A 17.
I mean, that really hasn't been the deal. But the bodies have dropped, and they played several people on defense.
The top right of your screen, 86, Javari Jackson. Starting defensive tackle. A number of injured players. Yeah, the star that's probably shined the brightest for Craig Bolt has been Elijah Halliburton, who is continuing to approach that career best performance when they toppled Mizzou. Got their first win over a Power 5 team in 11 years. He's got 14 tackles today. Big lead in first downs for Tulsa. What a fake. Off the hands, incomplete. That was a fire to Josh Johnson.
And fire is right. I mean, you can almost see the flames coming off that thing. That's one of those passes that Coach Montgomery talked about that, you know, Zach can rear back and let it go. And if he lets it go, those receivers better be ready to catch something that's got some serious smoke on it.
Seeing visions of the late stage of Clue and Miss Scarlet. Flames, the side of my face. 2nd down and 10. Trying to cut it back, Shamari Brooks. These backs giving up the body after that first contact. They know the contact is coming there from Garrett Krall, and he fights for the extra yards.
Well, they've done a really good job as the Wyoming defense of shutting down to a large degree Shamari Brooks, because coming into this thing, that's one of the weapons running wise we really expected to see a lot of out of Tulsa. Their main weapons have come through the air though today.
Well, Brooks in the backfield on 3rd and 4. Smith has grabbed hold of this game. Wyoming shows pressure.
Yep, look at all the bodies.
Quick check it down, and there the contact. As soon as Juan Carlos Santana had the ball, Azizi Hearn right on top of it.
See, that's one of the problems when you see all those bodies up at the line of scrimmage and you look outside and there's receivers and the defensive backs are so close to them. It's almost they're daring you. Go ahead, try one of those short ones. See, there's 7 guys right there. The other 4 are outside with the split receivers, and there's no threat.
Offense on the field again, devoid of a long kicker. We've seen them do this. We've seen them on 4th down and double-digit yardage, so 4th and 6 feels like nothing.
Yeah, back up in the double-A gap.
Pressure. Off the hands again, looking for Josh Johnson. Pressure from Logan Wilson hurried him just a touch. And they turn him over on downs.
They were showing that double-A gap. They gave both guys blitz and came, and Logan Wilson comes off the attempted block by the right guard. And he gets through there for a little bit of pressure. But that ball was put right on the left elbow. Maybe the hands get to it before the elbow does, but that ball's getting on him pretty fast.
That's Josh Johnson, the Iowa State transfer, who Philip Montgomery didn't know they would have. He was given a waiver to be immediately eligible the week of their opener against Michigan State to be closer to family in Little Rock, Arkansas. So Wyoming's offense has done very little since the opening drive of the game for the Cowboys. Chambers off the hands, incomplete. Chambers leaves 5 of 16, 69 yards. Vanderwall sidestepping pressure, throws on the run, nearly intercepted. In and out of the hands of Darren Ray, looking for Austin Conway.
Really nice job of Austin Conway. We've talked about who's going to play running back at times for Wyoming. Austin Conway, number 25, down the field. He gets the pressure, does the quarterback, but watch what Austin Conway does. This is an interception. Let's be honest, that ball is going to be an interception without that pretty nice play there by Conway, raking the arms.
2 of 10 on third down today. Vanderwall 49% as a passer a year ago. 3rd and 25. Vanderwall can feel it. One-footed. Wow, the contact, and Rocket Ishmael holds on. He got smashed. He'll be short by about 5.
Yeah, that was very liberal penalty calling by the officials there, because there were at least 2. Watch some of the blocks being put on by Wyoming's offensive line. 2 of them are pretty much tackles. He still gets the ball off. I tell you, Ishmael, that shows you something. You get hit like that and the ball doesn't come out.
Brent Vegan, the 6th-year offensive coordinator, played tight end at North Dakota State back in the 90s. Helped develop Josh Allen. Now they're trying to find their next quarterback. Anderson forced to retreat some. Makes the fair catch. Wyoming, since Chambers started, 3 for 3. 3 for its last 16 combined between Chambers and Vanderwall. While Zach Smith has taken command of the game. Oh, puts it in a tight spot. Connects with Sam Crawford. Another first down. Tyler Hall in coverage, 19 yards.
Bringing Crawford from that top wide receiver position, just a little slant right over the middle. Throws that ball between the linebacker and the safety. Perfectly placed.
It's Crawford's first action on the field as a receiver. Was primarily a return man before. And here, Cash Malawia goes for a ride with Shamari Brooks. Gets a little more than 3.
And as we mentioned earlier, you know, that's sort of the piece that's missing. The piece is Shamari Brooks for Tulsa. We've seen the passing game be very effective. If they can get Shamari Brooks going, that's how you close this thing out. We talked about them leading Oklahoma State last week. They couldn't close the deal. Can they close this one out?
Zach Smith, backside pressure, and he's down, trying to protect the football. Wyoming says it has it. Cowboy football! The first turnover of the game belongs to the visiting Cowboys. Solomon Bird showing the football.
2 hands on the ball in the pocket, looking down the field, never watching the rush, just feeling it. Can't feel that last rusher coming in basically from the backside, stripping that ball away.
Now remember, talked about the outstanding performance Zach Smith had toe-to-toe with Baker Mayfield. Had 4 touchdowns, no picks in the Baylor-Oklahoma game. He did have a pivotal fumble in that game that changed it in the late stage. Valladay is in at running back. Vanderwall at quarterback. Vanderwall loading up. Incomplete. Overshot Rocket Ishmael. We're through 3. Wyoming can find a way to come back in this game. The amount of emotional and physical resolve would be just about off the charts. As we take a look at our Chick-fil-A game summary.
Yeah, when you're under triple digits in passing, you're an option team almost. So for all intents and purposes, that's what basically Wyoming's playing like right now, is an option team. 2nd down, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers.
Chambers, show and touch, delivers. Eberhardt, touchdown.
Pretty conservative formation. 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends lined up on the right-hand side. Watch this play develop. Fake the run. All of a sudden, coverage is dropped on the deep part of the field.
That is Wyoming's first passing touchdown of the year. Entered the week one of 6 teams in the FBS without one. They got it, and we've got a 1-score game. (17-14). It's a field goal affair. Sean Chambers' first passing touchdown of the year. Keys to the game brought to you by Greenies. How they held up.
Well, they haven't rode the run that much, but that has been what they've done the best. Slow down the pace. Tulsa hasn't really had that much of a pace. Start fast. They've averaged 5.6 on first down. That's good for them. 3 and outs, not that many. 8. How about that? Not that many coming into this game, but 8 in this one.
That touchdown for Aiden Eberhardt, the first of his career, the former walk-on who got a scholarship a couple of springs ago.
If that was a matchup in a race, that was over in the first 7 yards. The race was done. It was over. It was just a matter of whether or not Chambers could hit him.
And he did. Show touch for the first time today. A lot of time left in this field goal game. And there's a seam. Into Wyoming territory. Bruising run for Corey Taylor II as he ran into Azizi Hurd.
Look at the crease. You got the block. There's the crease. There's the run. Tulsa's got a little bit of a close in him, it looks like. We'll see if they can finish it.
Taylor. Brought down by Logan Wilson. Pretty good run there on first down. You were looking at it in your keys. To get an average of a little more than 5 yards on first down, pretty significant.
It really is. If you can play, that allows you to play with the pace you want to. You can run the ball every 12, 15 plays. A play every 12, 15.
There's Taylor again. He gets to around the 40, 41, so a gain of about 3. Mario Mora the stop. Third down comes.
Another mass substitution there for Wyoming.
And they're all collectively looking at their sideline while Zach Smith takes command of his offense. They're going to change backs. Brooks in, Taylor out.
Don't hurry. This is really good out of Zach Smith. Take your time. Just because you're at the line of scrimmage doesn't mean you have to run a play. Let the clock run. It's your friend.
Pressure comes on both sides. Incomplete. Looking for Brooks.
That ball was tipped. Really nice by Solomon Byrd. He got up and tipped that ball. Solomon Byrd gets up. Ball is tipped because that screen was set up. That was going to be a play.
And no shock offense on the field here.
We've seen this a few times. Philip Montgomery has taken some shots and taken some chances, and he's taken another one here.
Fourth down conversion try of the game, matching the season-long total entering today. Smith down. Tegan Lufau, the redshirt freshman. Seven sacks today. There are teams in America without that many.
Yeah, and they're coming. They show nothing but we're coming after you. And they do exactly that. They run a little loop game. They go out. Wilson and company go outside. Blitz comes inside. That's a perfect call at the perfect time. That's choking off a close. That's choking off a finish by Craig Bowl and his staff.
Remember, Tulsa had significant woes finishing fourth quarters, particularly in the first half of last year. Option pass. Eberhardt incomplete. Austin Conway was a quarterback in high school, and under extreme duress as he fired that one downfield.
Pre-duress, he could have thrown it.
Right.
If he could have stopped and just thrown it right here. He's got a wide open receiver. He's down the field and he's open. That's when you throw it. That's when you loft it, not later when he has to come back to it.
Brandon Johnson able to help deflect it away. And the misdirection forces a slight pause. That'll be a push for about 5 for Xavier Valladay.
Nothing wrong with that if you're Wyoming. You've made them think. You've tried a little halfback pass. You've given them a 5-yard gain inside. Got a funny feeling this is where they're going to go 3rd down and 4th down. They're going to go for it. So you've got 2 downs to get this 1st down.
Chambers throws it high. Ishmael's got it. 1st down. Brandon Johnson another tackle and a huge conversion. 22 on 3rd and 12.
Nice job by Chambers. We talked about Zach Smith hanging in there and taking hits. Here goes Chambers. He didn't know it was coming because it was behind him. But we've talked, how many times has he overthrown and speeded the ball past his receivers? This is just tall enough for Ishmael to get it. He gets up there, grabs it, and comes down with it.
He has been a tough receiver today. Chambers can feel it coming again for Gibson, and again the connection. Manny Bunch another tackle, this time John Ogwali, the senior, with the grab.
Well, the Sean Chambers that had to go to the sideline and got replaced for a series or so, different guy came back. He's throwing the ball better, he's more accurate, and he's got a little calm and deep breath to him. Sitting in the pocket and looking at those receivers and giving them a chance to get open.
In the red zone, Wyoming. Chambers up a direct give. Chambers. Touchdown.
John, in case you're curious, this isn't how you finish or close a team out when you've got a 17-7 lead. Wyoming has rediscovered their offense, and it's coming in the body of Mr. Chambers, the redshirt freshman quarterback. Both his throwing and his running have been the key.
Well, here's a pretty important point after. It's good. A field goal can't tie.
Just a beautiful call from downstairs, and the rest of it is Chambers finishing it off just inside the pylon.
Sean Chambers got benched since he's come back in the wake of Logan Harris's injury when he left via ambulance. Chambers renewed. The last 2 drives for Wyoming, 12 plays, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns. Conversely, Tulsa, its last 2 drives, 31 total yards. Now, Tulsa will have the ball, but Wyoming has the momentum. Zach Smith has been calm just about all game, but that's no catch. Incomplete to Keenan Johnson. Zizi Hearn in coverage. So can he reciprocate? Can he deliver that same poise with 5 minutes and change to go?
The other thing, you know, Brent Vegas, look at the plays they've called the last 3 possessions. They've been kind of out of the box, unusual formations and unusual plays.
Does Tulsa have some wizardry of its own? It has some option pass game, and it hasn't employed so far this year or this game. And there's Stokes. What a vicious stiff arm. He just shredded Rome Weber.
Yeah, here on the left side of the screen, here's Stokes. Then Stokes get a chance for that stiff arm. He sees it coming and he meets it perfectly.
After a gain of 20, Brooks doesn't have a lot of room. Fights to get back to the line of scrimmage. Sullivan DeBird, Elijah Halliburton take him out there. Well, Tulsa 1-2 on the year. A loss at Michigan State, but the defense was great. The run game was not. They won at San Jose State. Last week they led Oklahoma State at halftime and fell 40-21.
And a good way into the third quarter before Oklahoma State put two quick scores up.
There's another grab for Stokes, who went off to the locker room during the course of the game. Another tackle for Halliburton, who has broken his career mark set in the upset of Mizzou when Wyoming got its year off with a big bang. Its first Power 5 win. Keelan Stokes into motion. Halliburton hands him off. Zach Smith trying to force it incomplete, looking for Josh Johnson.
Wow, he got lucky there. That ball was deflected up into the air. That just took one guy being in the wrong place to turn into an interception. From this angle, you can see there's not much of a window there. He still tried to put it into it.
4th down and 5.
Well, he's done it a lot, has Philip Montgomery in this offense. I don't agree with it, but he knows his offense better than me.
Smith, what a grab! Climb the ladder, climb the mountain. Keenan Johnson flags down.
Are they going to call that targeting? Had two officials.
Face mask. Defense number 20. Help to the end of the run. First down.
Let's see if we can check out the face mask here as it happens. Wow, what a great job. And there's a face mask right there on the left hand, wrapped around the head.
That was Azizi Hearn. So now in the red zone as they convert on 4th and 5. Late substitution. Denzel Carter in, Josh Johnson out, so Tulsa goes bigger.
This is called an answer. Teammates will come back on you. They're trying to ruin your finish. This is how you answer them.
There's a lot of time left. Brooks. Touchdown!
Concentrate on the second level. Where do the linebackers go? The linebackers can't make the tackle. If you take the linebackers out of the running game in the red zone, those are the kind of yards you're going to get, because a back like Shamari Brooks is going to make you miss.
Critical extra point is good. A field goal affair. Shamari Brooks, his team leading 4th rushing touchdown of the year.
One more time. Nice lead block coming from the backside. Little trap out. Shamari Brooks follows it. And that's just not fair. That's Shamari Brooks against two defensive backs who don't have angles and don't have leverage. He's going to win that every time.
Sam Crawford giving a big block to help him out. 4th quarter scoring just about matched the first 3 combined between these teams. Zach Long, kickoff specialist. Wyoming taking a shot. And more. And field position dynamite for the Cowboys. 36-yard kick return, but downed Tyler Hall, the starting corner. He had 2 kick returns for a touchdown a couple of years ago.
And he was a hair's breadth from being gone for a touchdown on that one, too.
Chambers 3 of 5 passing, 90 yards and a touchdown in the quarter. And overshoots Gunnar Gentry and Allie Green alongside him.
Chambers, a couple of overthrows we saw earlier in the game. Same kind of throws the last few.
Is that just the pressure he's putting on himself in those spots?
I guess you talked about him being on the poster and the cover of magazines and all that. He's just got to breathe through it. He's got to relax and just play football.
Well, he sold that pretty well. Valladay able to dip the head and shoulder and hop out of bounds. On a field goal game, 3:06 left. Cooper Roth is hit from as long as 51. That was last year at Mizzou.
That win we have is at his back. So you have to allow for that if you're Craig Bowl in Wyoming.
Chambers floats it way too deep, nearly intercepted. Oh, Reggie Robinson would love to have that one back.
Well, we've been talking about a little touch. It was actually kind of a floater floated out there by Sean Chambers. It just didn't have unanimous decision between he and his receivers.
4th down. 2nd attempt today, 3rd of the year. Chambers complete. Dante Crow helped out of bounds by Allie Green. What a conversion on 4th down.
Just an amazing job by Sean Chambers. You want touch? You want a quarterback who knows he's going to get thumped? There's your hit. There's your catch. That ball goes right in between a windmilling of arms by the defensive back to become a reception. Just amazing. 4th down. Talk about some guts.
34 yards, 1st and goal. Valladay, Gibson right there, and he's able to spin out of his clutches. Right back to the line of scrimmage, plus half a yard.
Wyoming's actually kind of lucky they didn't get a holding penalty in there. There were a couple of them right in the middle of that shot you just saw.
Craig Bowl has seen his redshirt freshman Sean Chambers factor in all the touchdowns. He's run for 2, he's thrown for 1.
A lot of room for Eberhard up top.
Play fake. End zone incomplete. Green in coverage all over Austin Conway. 3rd down. And a flag. I don't believe there's a flag out there. It's 3rd down and goal. Two fakes. Chambers running for his life. Pump. Edmiston knocks it free. Tulsa's got it. Cooper Edmiston, the turnover magnet, forces a fumble, and Reggie Robinson arrives to pick it up.
Edmondson catches Sean Chambers trying to make something happen.
Recovered by the defense. Tulsa's ball.
Fighting for the extra yards. Everybody that handles the ball is taught from the time they're in junior football. When you get in a crowd and you're trying to fight, think ball. Well, Edmondson is thinking ball. Chambers gets in this position and he wraps his arms right around Chambers. Chambers does not have 2 hands on it, and it comes free. Watch the left arm, bang, right on the ball. You get in that situation, you got to have 2 hands on the ball. I know you're a quarterback, you still have to have 2 hands on the ball. But Edmondson comes in, he's just kind of got it in his hand. It's not really put away, and Edmondson comes in with that left hand and takes that ball and knocks it right out.
Cooper Edmiston. He's got the turnover chain dangling around his neck. He had 7 takeaways a year ago and told us he was in desperate need of finding that first takeaway of 2019. Manny Bunch calls him Turnover Coop. The first Wyoming giveaway of the game. So Wyoming's got no timeouts. And its pursuit of its first 4-0 start since 1996 rests with a clean snap and victory formation and a kneel down.
Yeah, that kneel down is going to get tight. Almost needs to be a sneak to give himself a little bit of room for the next kneel down.
Zach Smith showed a lot of poise today, and there was a long stretch where Tulsa's offense, thanks to his passing game, assumed command, but Wyoming roared back late, and it's the Tulsa defense. That turnover forced by Cooper Edmiston and scooped up by Reggie Robinson that makes the final difference. And there's a final knee. Tulsa continues its mastery of the Mountain West here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's a 3rd straight win against Wyoming. It's the 2nd victory for the Golden Hurricane on the year, and the first defeat for the Cowboys as they fall to 3-1. For the Hall of Famer Randy Cross and our entire crew, I'm John Sadak. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. College football presented by Geico continues. We head to Houston. Dave Ryan, Corey Chavis on the call as Baylor battles Rice.